A robbery suspect is dead after a late-night robbery.
Back and shot an intruder breaking into her home.
911, what is your emergency?
A citizen, just like a police officer, have the right to defend themselves or defend others if they're in fear of death or serious bodily injury, and that right extends to using deadly force.
You always hear about it happening to somebody else, but it just shocks you. A violation of your castle, your security of your home. But looking back, the fact is it happened.
I couldn't believe it, number one. Number one, because it was, middle of the day. I couldn't believe it. But my second thought was, generally speaking, I probably would have been coming home by myself.
I think a man or a woman should have a right to defend themselves and not seek that safe place and call the police officers and pray the bad guy doesn't kick in the door and take you out.
I've always felt safe in my home, and so that was kind of something that made you wake up and realize you gotta be thinking things a little bit differently. Everyone's not always as nice as they may seem, and everything's not as easy as it can be all the time.
Since that happened, I've been kind of nervous sometimes, but I still feel good when I leave the house because I know Daddy's here.
Some individuals out there think they have a right to just violate our space, take from you, victimize you. Hopefully not in my America. I left home at 17 and various jobs here and there. Paid my own way through the police academy in Northern California, Crescent City. Went to Wyoming and was a deputy sheriff up there for 6 years, 1980 to 86. It was pretty good duty. Good people up there.
My upbringing was pretty normal. I grew up just a few blocks away from here, lived in the neighborhood my whole life, and have a brother and sister. And they all live here locally, so we're a pretty tight-knit family locally.
I came to Reno and started working construction during the day, and I went to real estate school at night to pass my exams and got the license to be a realtor. It has been a great opportunity in Reno. Reno's a good town. My wife and I have been doing real estate in Reno for about 22 years now. I think it's our 23rd year. And it's awesome because I get to work with my best friend. Well, thank God I had a normal day. I got to get up when I wanted to get up, and I went out and did my real estate stuff, came home and had lunch. And every day I take a short nap after lunch.
Well, my daughter was in kindergarten, so they have just a short half day. So she came home, I fed everybody lunch, and then I proceeded to take her to my mom's house so that I could get some work done. So I jumped in my car, left Jeff taking his little nap.
I was laying on top of my bed and I heard my dog starting to key up and bark a lot, abnormally barking. And I come out of the hallway from the bedrooms into the common area, and I look up, and here's this guy in the front of my home, broad daylight on a busy street, and he's all nervous acting, and he's got a paint scraper type device working my front window. And he's got black gloves on, and I went, oh, man, this is a pro, this is a burglar. I'm scared. Well, thank God my 12 gauge, I keep high up in the closet in the hall. I grabbed that shotgun and I'm standing in the hallway. He was in my house too fast. I mean, it amazed me. I saw him working that window, and I have a picture in my living room, and I can see the reflection of him clear as a bell. And then I'm processing, where's my wife? Where's my child? Where's my family? While I'm processing this, he opens the window, jumps down into my house, and closes the window, and then he's standing there. Standing in my home. Man, this is a pro. This is a burglar. I'm scared. He was in my house too fast. I mean, it amazed me. It was like 30 seconds. And then he's standing there. Standing in my home. I mean, he had this look of just another day at the office. And then I started getting mad. He had that attitude like, hey, this is okay. Oh, no, it's not. He stood next to the window, he kind of looked things over. He felt pretty secure and safe because he apparently saw my wife leave and thought nobody's home. It was real easy to kind of keep a watch on him, and I was in a dark hallway, he couldn't see me. And he was standing maybe 10 feet from me. I jumped off the 12 gauge, ratcheted around. It's a pump shotgun, so you ratchet around and it just resonates. There's no other sound like it. It's universal. So when I ratcheted the gun, he just dropped down. I mean, I'm riled up and my adrenaline's flowing, and I told him, hit the floor, get down. But he wouldn't listen to me. I told you to lay down or I'm gonna kill you. And I was serious. He hunkered down, but then he put his hands over his face and turned and looked at me, peeking at me through his fingers. He wouldn't lay down on the floor, and that got me angry because I'm going, okay, this game's not over. He kind of did this moonwalk back, looking at me going like this, and he goes, just let me go. They always let me go. And I said, not today. And he just started, you see him shake, he starts freaking out. And he looked towards the window where he came in. He closed the window so he couldn't like dive out. When he turned to look towards the kitchen rabbit, I knew I had to take him then. Just put a rifle butt right to his nose and whacked his nose, and I hit him twice in the face, and then his head turned sideways. And I was mad at that point, you know. And I knocked him down on the floor and stepped on him. He was belly down. I had him prone like I wanted to in the first place. He was still fighting. I'm going, my God, you know, this guy is something else, you know. And then I had to call 911, and I got a new fancy phone that's all touch interface, you know, and I didn't know how to dial 911. So I finally get 911 triggered, and finally I hear dispatch come on.
911, what's the emergency?
I remember I was walking in front of the door, and I remember hearing some very loud screaming and something going on. Arguing is what I thought it was. And I can see Jeff stepping on somebody with his shotgun in his hand, screaming at this man. I don't know what he was screaming, but I was like, what is going on? And then he sees me walking up to the front door, and he's basically telling me, come in, come in, come in. So I just start shaking.
Honey, I caught a burglar! Here, take this phone, talk to dispatch.
So I instantly have to pick up his phone and start talking to her.
Cops rolled up, told me to put my gun down, and, you know, did what they were supposed to do. And I put my gun down. Once they hurry up and get in here, because this guy's still feisty. I mean, he's not willing to go to jail. So I put the shotgun down, and they came and drug his butt out my door. I said, get that piece of crap out of my house. And they drug him out into the front yard. So then I de-escalated, not in my hands anymore.
The thought that came across my mind was, oh my gosh, what if I had come in? I would have come in on him in my home. I don't know where he would have been. He could have been in my bedroom. He could have been in my office. I was just thankful that no one was dead. There was, you know, no one was hurt. Everything was okay. You know, I was just thankful that they were able to take him away and we could calm back down and recap what happened. You know, it was kind of scary.
Officer came in and said, hey, he's on rope. And what's rope? It's repeat offender program. So he just got out of prison doing a 10-year stint with the prison system here locally, I guess, for burglary with a firearm. So he used to pack heat. And he just got out of prison. And I told the judge, but what made me mad was I had to explain to my 6-year-old what a burglar was, what a bad guy was, what a dirtbag was. She lost the security of her home. What really torqued me off was at night at the front window where the burglar came into our house, she took her Power Ranger figurines and set them up in front of the window.
I felt like putting a sign like, back off, like, stay off our property.
Makes you mad. Makes me damn mad. And so the judge said, prosecutor, how many years do you want to game for? Well, we want him 10 years, minimum 10 years. The judge goes, how old is your daughter? 6. He says, no, 10 years, she'll be 16. He pauses, he goes, you know, this man's just dumb enough, stupid enough to come by your house. And 16-year-old girl, it's too much for her to handle. He says, 20 years. I about fell down.
They told me that everything's okay and my daddy took care of it, and then we got a security system.
We had to secure our home, we had to go around our home, where's the weak point, a little more awareness, and just being mentally prepared. Went out and got CCWs, or concealed weapons permits. The state of Nevada took the classes, we qualified on the range. Couple little baby Glocks, Model 26s. Feel very comfortable now that she's proficient with it, that if I'm not around and she's pinned down in her own home, she doesn't have to be, will not be a victim, period. I'm glad that the state of Nevada allows us as private citizens to protect the interior of our car, my person, my home, and that's a real privilege. And privilege, my butt. That's a right, isn't it? Right to keep and bear arms. Why should we live in fear of criminals? No, if the cops don't get them, we should. You know, the ones that slip by the cops. What's my wife supposed to do? 911, they might get here in 2 minutes, it might be 15 minutes. But a lot can happen, just like that guy was in my house within 30 seconds. Wow. A lot can happen in a minute. A lot can happen in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. 5 minutes, it's over. Not acceptable to me. I'm a responsible American male. I protect my family.
I know we can take care of ourselves. I don't have to rely on the police to be here every waking hour, every sleeping hour for that matter, to protect me.
I feel very safe.